With version 1.4 approaching and Jiyan's rerun banner coming to an end, players are now likely considering the next couple banners that are dropping in 1.4, which have now been confirmed through the patch notes, and unexpectedly, version 1.4 will be the first version to feature 3 limited character and weapon banners, consisting of Camellia in the first phase, and in the second phase we have Yinlin and Xiangli Yao. So of course, players will likely be drained of the astrites more than ever before, with there now being more banners to summon on than usual, and especially since all 3 characters do hold a ton of value. So with that, I'm going to be going over some kit standouts for these characters, the sort of longevity and team flexibility they hold, the value of the signature weapons, and ultimately, which of these banners would hold the most value for your account. Just before we jump into it, as always, would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content and drop a like if you enjoyed the video.
Pleasure me.
As for the first phase of 1.4, our lovable psycho Camellia will finally be arriving and is going to be our first limited Havoc 5-star DPS in the game. Unfortunately, it is still a bit early to talk about exactly how well she performs and the numbers she will be capable of. But considering the amount of popularity surrounding this character, I am positive Kuro wouldn't really allow for such a hyped character to perform so poorly. So with that being said, Camellia does have potential to be amongst the best DPS characters in the game, with great damage dealing capabilities. However, as for her animations and playstyle, we are finally able to see what they look like from the 1.4 trailer, and as expected, Camellia's playstyle is more fast paced and hectic, which kinda does fit in with her personality. So Camellia does look to be more of a fun DPS character to play with, along with possibly having great damage dealing capabilities. Additionally, in regards to Camellia's abilities, one of her attacks showcased in the trailer is a massive AoE spinning attack whilst Camellia remains in the air, which I believe should certainly be able to provide the ability to auto parry any attack. It isn't exactly clear how often Camellia will be able to activate this attack, but the fact that she will be possibly able to auto parry attacks, which is an extremely valuable ability that Jiyan is also capable of, goes to show the sort of value and utility Camellia's kit will hold. Now, judging from her gameplay, Camellia does seem to have a very similar playstyle to Changli, meaning she will be capable of playing as a hyper carry DPS and a dual DPS. So with that in mind, Camellia will of course have great team flexibility, as she will have many team variations to choose from. However, considering the fact that Camellia's high damage dealing capabilities will scale off basic attack damage, it would mean Camellia's best in slot sub DPS would be Sunhwa. So Camellia's best team would be extremely easy to build in comparison to other DPS characters that would require a 5-star sub DPS such as Xiangli Yao and Yinlin. So along with Camellia being flexible in team building, she will also be quite free to play friendly, with having Sunhwa as her best partner. But as I just mentioned, there are many other team variations to choose from, such as having Rover, Danjin, Changli, and possibly even Xiangli Yao. Meaning Camellia will be a character every player can pick up and slot into a team where she can perform extremely well. However, due to the fact that Camellia will be a main DPS character and will unlikely be able to provide any value to her allies such as buffs, her longevity would pretty much be the same as every other main DPS character, which wouldn't be the most due to power creep being the most potent towards main DPS characters. That being said, as long as Camellia will be capable of clearing all content in the game, which I certainly do expect her to be capable of, it means she will be an amazing DPS character overall regardless, leading to her being an extremely valuable DPS definitely worth considering picking up. Now moving on to the second phase of 1.4, where Yinlin and Xiangli Yao's banners will be available at the same time, and both do hold immense value, especially since both do feature our new 4-star character Lumi, which does look like an extremely fun and unique DPS character. So it is definitely great that you will be able to pick her up regardless of whichever banner you do summon on in the second phase of 1.4, since along with her fun looking playstyle, she will likely have a stacked kit just like our first new 4-star character Yoo-hoo, ultimately leading to both banners in the second phase holding quite a bit of value already. Now, the slight issue for some players in regards to the second phase banners is that if you don't have either Xiangli Yao or Yinlin, but you really should already have Xiangli Yao as he was a free character, is that you would ideally want to pick up both since they are each other's best partner, which of course will be quite a bit of pressure on your astrites. So now, individually speaking and just being blunt, I believe Yinlin does have more value than Xiangli Yao. since she is a sub DPS character which is able to support numerous main DPS characters, whereas Xiangli Yao is a great DPS character overall but isn't exactly the best. So as for Yinlin's Kit Standouts, she is capable of dealing electro-coordinated attacks, deals amazing burst damage, has the ability to play in quick-swap compositions, and most importantly, is able to increase electro damage by 20% and resonance liberation damage by 25% through her outro skill. So it is clear to see that Yinlin does in fact have a stacked kit consisting of a ton of utility and value. Additionally, considering that Yinlin first released in version 1.0 being right after Jiyan and just before Jinxi's banner, I assume many players may have missed the chance to pull for her. But due to the fact that her value has arguably gone up since her initial release, since there are now more electro DPS characters in the game, Yinlin still remains to be a top tier character to consider picking up, especially when taking into account the sort of longevity and team flexibility she holds, since as I mentioned, Yinlin is capable of supporting numerous DPS characters such as Jinxi and even Jiyan, but more specifically will specialize in supporting every electro DPS character. So just due to Yinlin's outro skill alone, she will in fact hold more longevity than majority of characters in the game, allowing her to arguably be the most valuable limited character in version 1.4. Now as for Xiangli Yao, again he is definitely a great DPS character which is capable of clearing all content within the game, and especially after playing with Calcharo, you would certainly appreciate how perfectly designed Xiangli Yao's kit exactly is, given that he is able to deal insanely high burst damage and has a secondary state known as the intuition state, which grants him access to a shortened basic attack string, increased anti-interrupt, and most importantly, 3 casts of the Law of Rain skill, which is a massive AoE attack that slows down time on activation and deals incredible damage. In addition, Xiangli Yao's resonance skill can be activated quite frequently, due to the forte gauge resetting the cooldown when maxed, and last but not least, Xiangli Yao's enhanced resonance skill allows him to lunge at enemies from quite a distance away, so you would be able to close the gap between you and the enemy insanely quick. So with that, it's pretty much a given that Xiangli Yao is most definitely a stacked DPS character as well, with a perfectly designed kit. However, again, since his best sub DPS partner by far is Yinlin, it will be extremely difficult to obtain both Xiangli Yao and Yinlin during the second phase. But if you're able to obtain both, then you would have access to a powerful and synergistic duo. Alternatively, you could use characters such as Yangyang as a battery or Changli for more of a quick swap playstyle and a resonance liberation damage increase, but Yinlin will still be the most valuable sub DPS by far due to her potent outro skill. Lastly, as for Xiangli Yao's longevity, similar to Camellia, Xiangli Yao being a main DPS character means he is more prone to power creep. But since he is able to clear majority of content in the game, it would still allow him to be a great DPS character regardless. That is until more difficult content drops in the future, which may impact his value. Now in regards to the limited weapon banners of 1.4, starting off with Camellia's, which I have previously gone over in her preparation video, is definitely a valuable weapon which will naturally provide more value than any other one-handed sword, given it is able to provide 24.3% crit rate through the main stat, along with 12% attack and a 60% increase in basic attack damage bonus through the passive. Now, especially considering the fact that other signature weapons usually provide around 48 to 54% in a specific damage bonus, means that Camellia's weapon does provide the most potent damage bonus increase out of every other signature weapon, making it even more valuable as a weapon for Camellia. So of course, if you want the strongest build for Camellia, then her signature weapon will be a massive boost in her DPS. However, due to there being solid 5-star alternative weapons such as the Emerald of Genesis and the Blazing Brilliance, it does in fact lessen the need to pull for Camellia's signature weapon. Specifically with the Emerald of Genesis, since it is a standard banner weapon and provides valuable effects such as 24.3% crit rate, 12.8% energy regen, and a 12% attack bonus, it would be a perfect alternative for Camellia as she can utilize all of the effects, and it is a weapon majority of players should have by now. So as valuable as Camellia's limited weapon is, you definitely have the choice to skip due to there being great alternatives to utilize instead. Now as for Yinlin's signature weapon, it does in fact hold a lot more value than other limited weapons, since along with a high crit rate main stat, it offers a 12% attribute damage bonus and a 36% attack bonus through the passive. So the effects are much more broad and would allow any rectified DPS character to benefit. So along with the fact that there is currently only one other 5-star rectifier that provides a crit main stat, which still isn't really as flexible as Yinlin's weapon, it allows Yinlin's limited weapon to hold a lot of value, meaning it would be a great weapon to pick up. Especially since Yinlin does have a ton of longevity, so you would be utilizing this weapon for quite a while. Lastly, as for Xiangli Yao's limited weapon, it does go without saying that the Verity's handle will provide the most value to Xiangli Yao, since it provides a crit rate main stat, 12% attribute damage bonus, and a 48% liberation damage bonus. Additionally, due to the fact it is the only 5-star gauntlet with a crit main stat, it certainly allows it to hold a ton of value. But considering the weapon is designed for only Xiangli Yao to be able to fully utilize it, it means it wouldn't be as great for other gauntlet characters. So as great as the weapon would be for Xiangli Yao, it will definitely be difficult to use it optimally on other characters, which does have a slight impact on its overall value. Though if you do intend to main Xiangli Yao, it will hold immense value and would be worth considering picking up. But just bear in mind that when you stop using Xiangli Yao in the future, the Verity's handle will lose a lot of value. Now taking everything into consideration between the limited characters of version 1.4, I do believe the most valuable character will be Yinlin, due to the fact that she can support majority of DPS characters along with specializing in supporting every Electro DPS character that drops. So with that alone, she will have much more longevity and value than Camellia and Xiangli Yao. Following would have to be Camellia, simply due to her flexibility and her potentially high damage dealing capabilities, which will likely outclass Xiangli Yao. Additionally, she does have some of the best looking animations in the game, does look very fun to play with, and seems to have the ability to auto parry just like Jiyan. So she will likely be the better main DPS in version 1.4. Xiangli Yao is still an amazing DPS character which can quite easily clear all content, but due to power creep and his restrictiveness in team building and his weapon selection, it will require more effort to play him optimally in comparison to Camellia. All in all, as always, it is down to your account, since if you need a main DPS character, then you should of course either prioritize Camellia or Xiangli Yao. But if you are content and are looking for characters to pick up that provide more bang for your buck, Yinlin will then be someone to prioritize. So essentially, you would just need to take a look and see which character would be more ideal for your account. Overall, the 1.4 banners are extremely stacked and as I mentioned will be much more draining than every other version before. So that being said, I would advise to be cautious with your Astrite since it has been rumored that version 2.0 will be directly after 1.4. So it would be fair to expect new insane characters that may hold more value than every other character, along with Jinqi's rerun banner finally dropping. So with that in mind, the version 1.4 banners might just be the final squeeze before they drop something nuclear in 2.0. So again, just be cautious with your Astrites in the 1.4 banners and maybe just summon on what you really need for your account to progress. But of course, if you can't hold back since you like a character, then that is completely fair and down to you. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Also drop a comment down below on what exactly will you be pulling for in version 1.4, or will you be skipping entirely? And yeah, hope to catch you guys later.